Welcome back. Viewers, Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir is under siege. The territory is burning. What started recently as an ordinary protest for some basic amenities of life and political representation has now transformed into a complete agitation for Azadi, for independence from the Pak establishment. What really is happening across the LOC? Let's take a look at these headlines. So after those quick headlines from across the LOC, viewers, I had the opportunity to speak to an activist, a very senior journalist who has been going around the world trying to raise in the eyes of the global community the realities of Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. I spoke to Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza, well-known PoK activist, and here is what he told us about the current situation in PoJK. Do listen.
Well, you see, the situation in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir is very serious. And I say that because now the people, the masses who have come out, they are confronting with the Rangers and with the Pakistan Army, and they have started to attack police stations in various parts of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. At the moment, about 10 to 15 vehicles of the Rangers have been cordoned off by the masses, by the Pahadi people, by those who live on the mountains. And they have blocked both sides of the road, and about 15 to 20 vehicles of the Rangers are stuck there, and they are throwing stones on them. And the Rangers are appealing to them to give them safe passage, and they are promising that if they give them safe passage, they will return to Pakistan. They will not continue with their journey deeper into Pakistani-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The situation is very serious, and it is different from the previous situations, because previously people did come out on several occasions, and they held mass rallies, marches, sit-ins, everything. General strikes. We had 5 general strikes in the past 3 years alone. However, they were betrayed by the government of Pakistani-occupied Jammu and Kashmir and by the Kashmir Council, which is headed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan and the Pakistan government. All inclusively have betrayed the people. That is the feeling on ground. And the reason is because the final agreement that took place on the 4th of October 2025 promised that all the demands will be met within 90 days. Those 90 days have passed. I mean, now it's nearly 9th month into those negotiations, and nothing has been fulfilled. Not a single demand has been met. So people are very furious. And then the people are also feeling humiliated because the Joint Awami Action Committee has been banned, and they are being said that they are funded and backed by India. Some kind of Indian conspiracy has suddenly found its way into the narrative of Pakistani establishment against the Kashmiri people in PoJK. So they are very angry about this, and the youth is now calling for total independence from Pakistan. But having said that, the leadership is still trying to appease Pakistan. They are still trying to appease the government of Pakistan. And in public rallies in Rawla Court and other places, the leadership of Joint Awami Action Committee is saying that Pakistan is our brother, Pakistan Army. We are not against the army. We are not against the institutions. our demand should be met, and people who open fire should be arrested, and an inquiry should be held, that kind of stuff. But people are not on the ground, are not buying that. People are furious, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the coming days, weeks and months, people of youth, especially of Pakistani-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, pick up arms and start a guerrilla war against Pakistan's occupation.
Very serious situation, as Dr. Mirza has just briefed us. I spoke to him earlier online. And friends, as you have heard, 2 or 3 strands of the conversation are very clear that this round of protests is very different from what was witnessed in the past 2 or 3 years, that the youth are very, very angry at what has been done to them, including the betrayal of their own leadership, and that what will happen in the coming days is anybody's guess. Let me take you now to the guests here with us who will discuss and help us understand the issue better. I have here with me Major General Dhruv Katoch. You know him, war veteran, well-known author, analyst. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Also with us here, senior journalist Rashpal Dasgotra. His speciality is that he has been covering this entire South Asian subcontinent very keenly, including Pakistan and PoJK. Rashpal, welcome.
Thank you.
Also with us, Ms. Pandey, Malika Pandey, as you know, is a well-known analyst and has been commenting on current affairs. You have listened to her on DD India earlier. Welcome, Malika. And before I come to you, Ms. Pandey, I want to come to General Katoch first of all, sir. Very clearly, 2 things came out from what Dr. Mirza has explained to us, that this round of protest is not likely to die down just because the army has unleashed a reign of terror and there are dead bodies lying on the streets of Muzaffarabad, Rawalakot, Mirpur, etc. How do you look at it, sir?
Thank you, Smita. I think the situation this time, as Dr. Mirza has stated, is very serious. I say so specifically for just one reason, and that is because the way the killings have taken place by the Rangers and by the Pakistan army. Now, generally, if the army has to open fire on unarmed civilian crowds, they will be very, very cautious. But I think this time they have let caution to the wind. And that has not gone down well with the public, which was already disenchanted. So a combination of these 2 factors is going to have a very serious impact on the ground situation. There is one more point which I would like to state, besides this killing. There is no attempt being made politically to resolve the basic issues which have cropped up, you see. You stated very correctly that it started because of rising prices and, those butter, bread and butter issues. But the political issue was the most important one, which keeps surfacing and has been surfacing off and on. And that is the 12 seats which, which are reserved for the refugees. And the refugees there, out of the total 55 seats, 12 are reserved for these refugees.
Yes.
And they come from all parts of Pakistan and none of them are refugees. And these people want those 12 seats also to be from the local people. This is one. Number 2, you've got a chap who's the Prime Minister, Faisal Mumtaz Rathod. Now, he's a Prime Minister only in name. Even when he goes to Islamabad, there is a very junior officer whom he sits with. And there is no way he can even meet an officer of the secretary level. So he has got absolutely no say in the affairs of the state, neither does his cabinet. The rulings, certainly, all the rulings with respect to Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, it comes only from Islamabad and Rawalpindi.
Yes.
So, those issues are really burning into the people. And now with the bread and butter issue also coming up, things have become very, very expensive. And I think there's another factor which I would just like to mention here. They are also seeing what is happening on the Indian side of Jammu and Kashmir, you see.
Right.
And the prosperity which has taken place here. And when you see the prosperity in Jammu and Kashmir, and you see the desperation which is there in a place like Muzaffarabad and Mirpur, the contrast is very stark. So all that I think is coming out with the people, and they will continue to protest.
So there is one question I do have in mind, and it comes out of what Dr. Mirza was telling us. while it is true, as you said, that the army has, thrown all caution to the wind and they are really behaving recklessly with unarmed, innocent protesters. But at the same time, it is also said that the army is also sort of trapped in the territory, and there are videos and comments emanating from PoJK saying that the army would actually like to just run away. They are not ready to stick there now, seeing the reaction of the population.
I think, in my view, in Mirpur, Muzaffarabad, I don't think that situation is there. That situation is really there in Gilgit, Baltistan.
Right.
So when we are looking at the northern areas in Gilgit, Baltistan, there are certain areas because they are much more isolated. Mirpur, Muzaffarabad, these are relatively open areas. And I don't see any of the Pakistan army people getting trapped there. That, in my view, that appears unlikely. But
so army,
Pakistan,
yes.
certainly.
Army atrocities are continuing.
Yes.
Allow me to come to our other guests here in the studio with me. Rashpal Dasgotra, apart from other things that General Katoch has just flagged, the most important, I think, is one reason for the resentment among the people of PoJK is also because, this is the age of social media. There is a lot of communication despite all the clampdown. People can see in videos, in comments, in stories, how normalcy has returned to our side of Jammu Kashmir and how people are not only just leading their normal lives, but every day there is some progress, whether it is economic or in terms of social progress or in terms of law and order. The way peace is reigning in our side of the LOC. So those narratives are also sort of agitating the people and they are feeling betrayed.
Being a resident of Jammu and Kashmir, I must say, most of the time we compare our life with the people living across LOC. And same is happening on the other side. See, if I'll see the fundamental of these protests which are happening right now, is the comparison between the life of people on the other side of LOC and when they see how prosperous we are and how development is taking place in India and how we are building very good roads, bridges, even tunnels, and they say they are saying that they are using the infrastructure which was created by Maharaja, which is which was constructed even before 1947, and this is obvious that they have their own ambitions being over there. And most of the people from POK, they wanted to go abroad because they see their life better in abroad than in POK. And now, if you see in the current situation, for the first time in UK, people of PoJK were protesting in front of Pakistani embassy. Yes. This is something unique which people have saw for the first time. I think the basic thing is that people of PoJK wants to be a better citizen. They want to be people like living on our side, and when they compare, I think they have no other option than to protest and demand similar kind of progress. And what they have seen in past many decades, nothing has happened over there. The life of people of J&K has deteriorated over a period of time, and they see no future to be with them. That's why they are protesting.
Yes, and that is why maybe this could be the reason that now they are not just asking for basic amenities or facilities or even political representation. We are increasingly seeing videos and testimonials where people are saying we want Azadi. So coming to you, Ms. Pandey, I wanted to understand, something about the response of the global community. You see how the global community responds, and there are multiple protests and people come out on the streets in thousands whenever there is an attack or any skirmish or tension in Gaza. The concern for the people of Palestine is so high. The whole world gets agitated. Is anybody interested? Is anybody even concerned what is happening in PoJK?
Absolutely. Pakistan is today's modern age content creator. That's what I like to call them. And when Pakistan refers to, and now the globe is understanding this, whenever Pakistan calls it, oh, this is Azad Kashmir. Well, the term Azad, the name embeds irony. The irony is in the name itself, and today people all over the world are watching it. I mean, we see, like my fellow panelists, General Katoch also mentioned and Sir also mentioned, how The protests are taking place in London, not only in London, across UK, we are seeing it in Canada, US, we're seeing it at different places across the globe where now people are protesting that what are you talking about? Azad Kashmir, it's not Azad. I mean, they don't even have basic constitutional rights. So Pakistan today is like a pressure cooker that I would like to say. To give it a symbol, I mean, it's like a pressure cooker in which every valve of that pressure cooker today is strained. The economy is failing. PoK protests are happening. You are seeing its tensions with Afghanistan. Forex exchanges are declining. Balochistan is against them. Sindh is against them. So Pakistan is in terms of failure. And today, people earlier were recognizing, I was talking to my friends across the globe and we had a conference with them and they were mentioning how people abroad are comparing General Asim Munir to General Dyer now because of the open fires that are happening. I mean, he's naming a military operation, a successful operation in the name of a massacre where he's shooting people openly in protest. So we're seeing the global community and specifically the young people are deeply troubled who got displaced, whose parents got displaced while Mangla Dam was being built in the 1960s. They didn't get a lot of my friends in London who are originally from Mangla Dam area, from Mirpur area, they say that the largest dam was built there. But 280 villages were vacated and these people never got the chance to go back. They didn't even get remuneration. So they had to shift abroad and these are the people who are now protesting in front of the embassies.
Yes, and it's been a tale of decades of misgovernance. It's like Islamabad only wants to extract the resources from PoJK, but they wouldn't care less whether the people are having even the basic, human conditions to live with. It's a tale of a trampling of human rights through decades. But it will interest you, Ms. Pandey, to know that I also asked Dr. Mirza earlier in our conversation what he thinks about the protests that we are witnessing in London and other cities, and how does he look at the response of the global community. Let's listen in.
You see, the protests in the UK, especially in England, are very, very angry protests because people have lost their loved ones back home. Some youth have lost their father, some has lost a brother, someone has lost a husband. So people are furious, and people over here, the Kashmiri community, are openly calling for revenge and are openly calling for a rebellion against Pakistan army and Pakistan's control over PoJK. The media is trying to cover what is going on in PoJK, but they are at most they are covering it like a news story. They are not covering it as a humanitarian call for action. So there is a difference between a news report and a humanitarian-based news analysis. That is missing from international media. And I think that aspect of the media should be addressed.
General Katoch, as you just heard Dr. Mirza tell us, the global media may have covered it as a spot news, as a story. But do you see the kind of concern for the atrocities happening in PoJK, just like we see the concern for the Middle East or say Palestine or other parts of the area?
Very frankly, I don't see any concern in any part of the world about the atrocities being committed in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir.
Why do you think? Why do you think that is so?
And I will tell you why. You see, basically, the Western media is US heavy Western media or US British heavy Western media, and they have got their interests, their own interests aligned with Pakistan for the moment. Now, theoretically, if they didn't have any concerns with Iran at this moment, I think there would have been much more media coverage of this event. But as of now, the Americans and the Europeans, especially because of the Iran war, they want Pakistan on their side, so to say. They need Pakistan, and that is why even President Trump, in many of his statements, has praised Field Marshal Asim Munir. And very recently, he has made a very positive statement about Pakistan, and he said that they are getting us our peace treaty. I think that was just yesterday. So when we are looking at America, America doesn't worry about a few hundred people or dozens of people getting killed in Kashmir. They were not concerned when millions were displaced in Bangladesh, when hundreds of thousands were killed and raped. So the Americans don't care. Americans are very concerned about their own interests. That is one. Number two, as far as Gaza and all is concerned, those areas and those issues have been very well weaponized over the decades. The same concerns are not existing anywhere else, whether it is in Afghanistan or Pakistan or in Africa. So it is not really that the people are getting killed. It is who are the people. And when we are looking at people in Africa or in this part of the world, I don't think the press is very concerned. However, if a situation like this happens in India, and even if one person dies, I think the whole world will be on our heads, because they also use it as a weapon to put people down.
Right. So that is the unfortunate unfortunate perspective of geopolitics in the current world scenario. But please stay with us, General Katoch. I want to ask Rashpal one thing, and that is, we have seen in the past, God forbid, whenever there is some trouble on the streets in the towns of PoJK, invariably Pakistan tries to, engineer something on our side of the LOC, perhaps just to, divert people's attention from what is happening on its own side of the LOC, or in order to create a different narrative. We also have the Holy Amarnath Yatra coming up in a few weeks. Rashpal, do you apprehend that Pakistan may try something in order to divert the attention of people from what is happening inside PoJK?
See, right now, the influx of pilgrims at Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine is, touching about 50,000 a day, or maybe more. And in few months, I think Amarnath Yatra is also starting. In present scenario, these two places are sitting ducks. If you have seen in last year, the same route and same pilgrims were attacked by Pakistani terrorists in Riyasi district. And, security is deployed over there, but still, local support is there. Even though the number of terrorists has reduced in J&K, but still traces are there. And those who are coming right now, they are more trained than the previous cadres. So in present scenario, if Pakistan can plan anything in J&K, yes, it can be a possibility. But I think Indian security forces are very much in alert mode, not only in the hinterland, but on the borders and LOC, because,
Yes.
that Jammu and Kashmir border is not that, you can say, fenced. Some of the porous, entries are there. And most of the times they're taking the advantage of weather, and, they are entering into Indian side. And recently you have seen that in Rajouri district, there was combing operation going on, in which they have saw some terrorists, but they are, Indian forces security forces are still, trying to capture or see their movement. And finally, I think this is a time when Indian security forces are on high alert to avoid any kind of incident in India.
And in fact, since you mentioned Rajouri, I think the security forces are still carrying on those combing operations in the upper reaches of Rajouri and Poonch area. But Malika Pandey, the Home Minister, was there in the state this week, and he has done a very thorough review of the security scenario of Jammu Kashmir, particularly in the light of the upcoming Holy Amarnath Yatra. But on the other hand, despite what happened in Pahalgam, all news reports, all visuals and videos from the valley show that tourists are rushing to Kashmir, tourists are rushing to the beautiful sites in Jammu area, also Ladakh. And despite the sad memories of Pahalgam, tourists have not been deterred, and tourism is at an all-time high. This also gives a message to the Pakistani establishment. What do you think?
Absolutely. We've seen since the Article 370 got removed, we've seen one of the highest number of the influx of tourism is too much in the areas. Even after, whatever happened, the Pahalgam attack, it was very sad. But whatever happened after that, things have returned to normalcy. The security forces have upgraded their weapon system. Everything is in order now there in situation. I mean, I was in Kashmir just a month back and everything is returned to normal now, and the government is very supportive. Now the industries have also started establishing.
Yes.
So you're seeing a lot of MSMEs pour in, you're seeing a lot of medium, large scale industry also purchasing land there, outsiders building there, and a lot of employment generation is also going on. So these are some of the things that have been developed from the past year, and the influx of tourism is one of the main things. So you see a lot of tourists from the south, you see a lot of tourists from the east also coming to Kashmir and enjoying the beauty of Kashmir now.
General Katoch, seeing the security review for Jammu Kashmir ahead of the Amarnath Yatra and seeing how things are unfolding on the other side of the LOC, how do you look at the security prospects for Jammu Kashmir in the coming 2 or 3 months?
No, you see, I think there will be very severe security concerns on the as far as the government of Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, and the centre too. Everybody is cognizant of the fact that this is a very, very sensitive period when the yatra is going on. And I have absolutely no doubts in my mind that Pakistan will try to do something, and they will try to pin the blame on locals. You see, that will be the modus operandi which they will try. Now, from their side, they will attempt it. From our side, we will ensure it doesn't happen. And I think as far as the security situation is concerned, with the police power still being with the center, I don't really visualize any major problem coming up during the season. Everybody's on a very high state of alert, and I hope and pray that things go off the way they have planned. And if any Pakistani terrorist group tries to create a disturbance, I think we should be in a position to eliminate them before they start.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's keep ourselves alert. And the people also need to cooperate if they see anything suspicious. But we will end the show thanking Dr. Major General Katoch, Malika Pandey here, and our friend Rashpal, all of them helping us to decipher and understand this whole scenario in such a detailed manner. But viewers, I will leave you with a last comment from Dr. Mirza, to whom I spoke earlier, about what he said when he was asked about global intervention on the cause of PoJK.
India has a responsibility as well. First of all, it's Pakistan's neighboring country. And secondly, they had had at least 3 wars over the Kashmir issue with Pakistan. And India claims that PoJK and Gilgit Baltistan are the integral part of India. So India's intervention is the most important intervention that people are expecting.